Warning. This episode that you're about to listen to has been cursed. It has been flooded with a lot of technical difficulties. There was a video edition of this episode, but it is too flooded with technical difficulties. And with that being said, that I hope that you guys enjoyed what you're listening to today, as you are going to go into a hell-filled ride of a podcast that is definitely going to be a cluster of, I don't even know what I'm trying to do with this. But anyway, you guys, I hope that you guys enjoyed today's show. It is definitely filled with like a lot of wonky moments with it and a lot of technical issues. But that is all beyond my control and all beyond my guest control. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. Keep following your boy. Keep supporting your boy. You guys, Team Doom, are the real MVPs out here. I appreciate every one of you. I love each and every one of you. And yeah, just keep striving, keep believing, and just keep doing what you guys are doing and keep believing in your boy. Peace out.
Welcome to There is no escape. There is no escape. You are in my control now. Welcome to hell.
Welcome to hell, everybody, and welcome, Team Doom, to another episode of Let's Talk About Horror, the horror podcast where I talk about any and everything related to the genre. And I would like to thank you, audience, for still listening to me, for you guys that are still rocking out with me. And today, I had to bring on a special guest today. Coming all the way from Half Moon Bay, California, I have a fiendishly and ghoulish guest that are here today. Let me bring on Dr. Ghoul and Scrogg. Welcome to the show, you guys.
Thank you for having us. We enjoy podcasts, but we especially enjoy ones that we haven't even been to bed yet.
All right, so if you guys want to follow us on social medias, if you want to follow me, it's Walterdoom on Instagram, Walterdoom1 on Twitter, and Walterdoom on everything else that is streaming podcasts. And if you want to follow Dr. Ghoul and his show, it's Dr. Ghoul Show 1710 on Instagram. And right now, I had to bring these guys on because you guys are very interesting. I follow your show on Instagram, and some of the things you guys talk about are very, I want to say, creepy stories that kind of like have a bit of humor and peace into it, and kind of like it gives kind of like moral stories. So what I want to know right now, like, what is the backstory behind Dr. Ghoul and Scrogg?
First off, Dr. Ghoul was a character that was produced by me being a knucklehead and dropping my very first girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
No one could convince me that her mother was a bitch. To console her mother and her about us breaking up. And her mother let her daughter leave the room. And she turned to me and said, "This is not going to go easy for you. You need to get back together with my daughter, or in less than a year's time, veins will pop out of your face and you will have a campy vampire voice. But the sad thing is, you'll have no powers like vampires." I laughed it off. I smiled. I walked away. And in less than a year, this is what I got. That's how I started. But this man, he has a much scary and creepier story.
I don't know if I'd call it a creepy, scary story.
Okay.
It is what it is, as I like to say. I'm from days of old, really. I was a pirate back in the days, a couple of 100 years back. Traveled around the world. I was sort of a performer on the ship, because somebody had to entertain while we were bored and drunk and bored. Sometimes you get a little too drunk, I guess you could say, and traipsing about town of London, got into a wild row with some not so nice people, I guess you could say, and followed them through into a darkened alley where I thought I could have a little fun with them, and they decided to take it upon themselves to make me young forever. Now, the night is where I go the best.
How we met, he and I was leaving in one of his, how should I say, created moods. I invited him to my radio show. And since then, we're inseparable.
So I know you guys do like a Fiendish Thought every single day for you guys' channel. Can you tell me what is the inspiration behind it?
We started Daily Ghoulish Thoughts at the beginning of the pandemic. So very few people were in a very good mood. And when we put on our dark humor, people started catching on to it. No matter where we go, people know who we and Ghoul are in this small town that we live in. But one thing that I do know about Scrogg is he's always a good companion for my ghoulish friends that are also on the show. He helps Can't Be Seen. He is very good with my temperament when I have the patient on the show. So it is good for me to have his edge because I am too humorous. But humor and dark are very sweet together.
Oh, yes, they are. Yes, they are.
My personal belief is the darker, the better. I like to keep people on their toes and the edge of their seat. I want to reel them in and lull them into a nice, dark, hazy mood. The best way to capture someone's soul.
Yeah,
without paying for it.
So going back to Can't Be Seen, how is Can't Be Seen as a person for you guys? Like, how do you guys interact with him?
From a distance.
Scrogg introduced Can't Be Seen for the first time to alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And it almost killed. And then we got him squared away, but now he understands that with his meds he can't drink, but Can't Be Seen has the heart of gold. Then he was 17 years old. His mother's boyfriend burned their house down, and Can't Be Seen was trapped in the basement. Now he lives with me, and Scrogg is one of his companions here. We like him. We enjoy his company. He has the heart of gold.
That's cool. I love that dynamic. So going back to kind of like on the Instagram profile. So I noticed that you guys do a collaboration with Breathless Beauties. I noticed like every episode you guys have a Breathless Beauty doll that you guys are displaying on there. And it's available, I believe, through Breathless Beauty's website. And I think you guys do Patreon for it, right? Or is it just Patreon for the channel?
So we do Patreon for us, and Breathless Beauties helps out with some of our stuff, especially for Instagram. And so it's kind of scratch our back, we'll scratch yours. She helps us out. We help her out. She makes these wonderful, creepy, ghoulish dolls, and we help promote them a little bit on our show, and she promotes us.
But I saw her on Instagram first, and I got a hold of her. And I asked her if she could, I needed a hook for our show. I needed a contest. So I asked her if she would make me one. And she recreated the first one for the Christmas present. And it was a remake of The Exorcist doll. And it was grand. We gave it away on Christmas Day.
Yeah, I kind of like the dolls. They look very creepy and ghoulish. Like it's a very freaky doll to kind of like have in the middle of like the room or whatever, just sitting like right there. I don't know. I feel like it's staring into your soul.
Well, that's how I feel about dolls. I'm not partial to having them in my own home, but there is a whole genre of the gothic type out there. Those who love the haunted houses and Rocky Horror and vampires and everything out there. They just love everything dark. So these dolls, they feed them. They go with their ambiance of their houses of everything dark and ghoulish and creepy.
The persons who won the Valentine's dolls were two dolls tearing each other's heart out. They have it up on their grand piano.
Speaking of ghoulish dolls, so if you guys had a cursed doll, like let's say like an Annabelle, would you keep it around the house? Would you like encapsulate it in like a museum? Like, what would you do with a doll like that?
You answer that. I'll go get one of mine.
Personally, for my own house, if I knew something was cursed besides myself, I would encapsulate it and put it on a rocket ship out into space. Because as we know, through the years of seeing these dolls travel around, I mean, look at Chucky.
Oh, yeah.
That doll got around.
Yeah.
No matter what or where you went, he found his way to you. So you want to make sure the same area that they can get back to you so easy.
Yeah.
Here is a Breathless Beauties doll. It's a little elf with a candy cane stabbed into its left eye.
Oh.
My 3-year-old grandson looked at it the other day and he laughed. I think we present things like this to little kids. They're not afraid of it. People ask me, when I have little babies on my lap in Ghoul, they ask me, Ghoul, why doesn't my child get fearful of you? And I said, Sesame Street took care of that. Count one. Count two.
They don't let me hold the babies.
All right, so since you guys are ghouls, what is a normal meal for a ghoul? Because I'm really interested in knowing like what you guys consider like a nice meal. What's a nice meal for Dr. Ghoul?
No, she's asking you.
Well,
go ahead.
I have to tell you that what I really like is eggs Benedict and things like that at 10:30 at night. That's when I'm getting up. So that's always a good start. But we travel a lot at night. And so a good soup or a good stew in front of a fire after we play our little nighttime games are always a soothing part of our household. What do you like?
What do you like, Scrog?
Well, being a vampire, we don't really eat. There's a lot of drinking. A lot of drinking. I make sure, of course, that it's mixed into the system usually. For some reason, the alcohol doesn't work on the system. But if you mix a little bit of blood in with it, then it makes everything go a long way and much, much nicer and pleasant to the palate.
So, Scrog, sticking to like what your meal plan, so what would you say tastes better of a person that has drank lots of tequila or a person that drank lots of vodka?
Vodka, definitely. I'm not much of a tequila drinker. I'm not fond of anything that says chase the worm. I'd rather have something that came from the ground and was soaking and was nice and clear to look through while you're gulping it down before you gulp down your victim.
Oh man, I bet that is very it would be probably a wild night chasing that worm.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, I'm a tequila person myself, but I try to stay away from vodka. Anything that's like vodka related, it's like, oh no, it's gonna be a wild night, fellas. As far as like ghouls, since we are kind of like talking about like the ghoulish and fiends and everything, We kind of talked about it a little bit. What is your favorite ghoul slash hell demon in history, like in horror history, as far as like the Jasons, the Chuckies, any kind of like monsters? It could be even like internet monsters, like um, what's that guy's name? Slenderman or anybody like that.
I like Candyman.
You like
He was
Candyman?
good.
I love Candyman.
Yes.
I age myself. I enjoy Bella. I enjoy Boris Karloff. Vincent Price is wonderful. But some of the best things I've ever seen is done by Christopher Lee. He is the best vampire I've ever seen on screen.
Okay. What did he play? Because this is my first time hearing about him.
Christopher Lee, you'll know him better from Lord of the Rings. He was Saruman the White, the wizard that attacks Gandalf.
Okay.
But back in the day, he was known for a lot of vampire movies. And he played them really well.
He would take people out of their own character right in the middle of the movie, and they would have to stop a rolling film because the person was so engulfed in the way Christopher grabbed every word and spit it out. This man can do the same. Wait till you hear his daily ghoulish thought, because he's going to read that later. It is flat out creepy, but that's the way Christopher Lee was. He ate the words and spit them out to the film as if there was no camera there.
True. But personally, I like something that gets you a little more than just the creepy ways they spit the words out. I like a good storyline to it. They change and adapt, and once you think you know where you're going, it twists. The same thing with anything with lots of gore in it. I love me some George A. Romero. Romero put out such good stuff with zombies, and everything that's happened since that in that genre of zombie films has just really been, it's the realism. As far as vampire movies, I really lost Boys because it was the reality of it. If you've never been to Santa Cruz at night, you're missing out on a great punk, seedy, dark area times.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a trip I need to make.
It's a carnival type atmosphere, and you kind of feel as though you're watching an old Fellini movie. And again, I have to age myself, but my very favorite movie is Satyricon.
Okay. When did that movie come out? Because this is my first time hearing about this movie. This is new to me.
And he actually paid a man $10,000 in Italian money, and he chopped off his arm for the movie.
Really? Oh, that's interesting.
Look it up. It's true.
Oh.
Fellini, when people say it's like Fellini's finest, nobody compared to his gore.
Oh, okay. I am definitely going to check that one out. Last question. So, what are some plans for the Dr. Ghoul show? What are some future plans you guys have in mind?
We're about to do some Gothic Victorian poems and things like that. Scrogg really is he really can act Victorian. And we found some public domain that we want to share on our show. And Scrogg really likes some of these. I didn't realize how creepy Mr. Wadsworth Longfellow was until I read some of his poems.
We're going to keep moving forward as we always do. We'll play a little with some of the stories like ghouls. The ones I do are going to be a little more darker and longer, a little bit, capture the essence of the seedy side. I love using that word apparently today, seedy. Seedy. Everything is dark and seedy. Play up to the depths of the horror that people long for in the darker side of the world. we've got some merchandise that we'll be putting out there through an Etsy. We got some baseball hats with Dr. Ghoul's likeness upon it. We've got some shirts, some mugs. Hopefully we'll have some of Scrogg soon too.
Yep, I hope so. All right, so what we're gonna do right now, you guys, we're gonna take a break right quick, and when we come back, we're gonna have you guys fiendishly ghoulish thoughts for the audience today. So how does that sound?
Sounds ghoulishly creative.
Fiendishly fantastic.
All right. All right, so audience, we are gonna take a break real quick. So like you shouldn't say in a scary movie, I'll be right back. And we are back, you guys, and I am back with my guest, Dr. Ghoul and Scrogg of the Dr. Ghoul Show. All right, so what we're gonna have right now for you guys is something special that Dr. Ghoul and his friends do on their channel, and basically it is a fiendishly ghoulish thought. And I believe today, Scrogg, you are going to take us away with the fiendishly ghoulish thought story.
That is correct.
All right, so go ahead, sir. You have the floor to go ahead and give us your fiendishly ghoulish thought of the day.
All right. This one is called In the Catacombs. Have you ever wondered if we are ever truly alone? I was traipsing through the catacombs of my family home, attempting to capture the essence of days long gone by. Suddenly, I felt a watchful eye upon my every move. I was cocksure no living creature could have followed me in. There were no other paths that led into this mausoleum. As it is what it is, there were no windows or doors behind the entrance either. The depths of the tomb were utterly airtight, such that no rodent could survive this far beneath the surface. I shrugged it off, fancied that it was my imagination. Being what I am, my night vision is enhanced, and no supplemental light is necessary. I continued to meander through the family resting spots as the sconces on the cavern walls lit ablaze with a powerful force. There were eyes regarding my movements. Of those whispers I heard murmuring in the breathless air, could those possibly be apparitions wafting across the deathly hollows? It occurred to me that perhaps my brethren of long ago decided to solicit themselves a summons on this journey into our past. Ah, that warmth I felt was like the hearth of the fireplace as Papa read tales of old, such grim folk tales as The Smith and the Devil. But that is for another time. And remember, you never know who or what is lurking in the shadows.
Yeah. All right. I like that story. So can you tell us a little bit about the inspiration of this story?
Really, there was no real inspiration to it. I started with a word, catacombs, and decided to think long and hard of my days of past and my family life and what it was like to visit my family's resting spots. So I decided to take the world into this journey back into my past.
A lot of times for all of our stories, we share words that we think would stimulate a good story. And Scrogg is right. I also write the same way. I choose a word. Maybe the word is something like dementia or something like that. And we write a story and wrap it around it to our own liking and to the way that we would tell it, so that people can understand us for what we are. Ghoulishly good friends, but also ghoulishly on the creep.
So how would you guys describe your story? Would you describe it sometimes as inspirational? Would you describe it as just something to be paranoid about? Would you describe it as scary?
All of the above.
I think mostly ghouls are thoughts of the past to look forward to and try to make everything bright and shiny if possible. that you always have a friend indeed when you're a friend in need. Me personally, I like to touch the inner workings of people's minds. I like to get them to think, what could that be lurking around the corner? What could happen next? I always want them thirsting for more.
Yeah, I was definitely thirsting for more of that story. That was definitely a really good story that you told.
Thank you.
Yeah. So here's a question. Is there a story that you guys told that was like really disgusting? Like someone was just like, they heard the story and they were just like, oh my God, this is the worst fucking thing I ever heard. Like, this is just very disgusting. Why did you guys tell me this story?
Not yet. But now that we know we can get that reaction, I think I might have to touch down on something soon.
It's stimulated me to be a little bit more aggressive with my thoughts.
All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Ghoul. Thank you, Scrogg, for coming to the show today. I definitely enjoy you guys' presence. I definitely enjoyed you guys' stories. And I mean, hey, if I had like a shot of rum, we could take a shot of rum right now. No, I'm kidding, Scrogg. But just for the people to know how to follow you guys, where to find you guys, can you tell the people where to find you guys one more time?
On Instagram, it's Dr. Ghoul Show, 1710.
All right.
And also on patreon.com/Dr. Ghoul.
All right. So you guys hear that? Patreon.com/Dr. Ghoul. All right. So right now we are going to sign out for a moment, you guys. I'll be back with the Slasher Corner. And once again, I'd like to thank you again, Dr. Ghoul and Scrog, for coming on to the show.
It was our pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
All right. So be right back, people. All right, and we are back now for the Slasher Corner. And as you guys know, we always give you guys a Slasher Corner movie of the week. So yeah, we're gonna go
Walter,
ahead.
Baby,
and,
Walter, baby, wait a minute, Walter, baby,
Huh?
Walter, baby, listen up. So this week, we're not gonna have a Slasher Corner movie of the week.
Okay, why is that, Producer Doom?
Look here, Walter, baby. We're going to do a little bit something different. So we're going to go ahead and do something like, we're going to have questions. You know, like how they have on those live streams, on the Instagram live streams and everything like that. You know, we're going to have like a question that we're going to shoot to you, a couple of questions and what have you. And the audience is going to hear like your thoughts and opinions and whatever, you know, so... Yeah, so we're just gonna go ahead and like shoot some questions to you, and yeah, you're just gonna answer them for the week.
Okay, Producer Doom, that's a little bit different. So how many questions do we have this week?
All right, we gotta do a drum roll, please, baby. Let's go. Let's drum roll, please. Oh shit, A&R Doom doesn't have the MP for that one, so we're just gonna do a manual one for you, Walter, baby. So drum roll. It's not that great, but the question that we have for you today, Walter, baby, is one.
Really? All that drama for just one question?
Okay, wait a minute, Walter, baby, wait a minute. There's something wrong with the machine. Okay, we got two.
Okay, 2 questions. All right, let's do this. Let's fire away. What's the first question?
All right, Walter, baby. So the first question of the day is favorite Saw kill.
Dina. Okay, favorite Saw kill. I would have to say my favorite Saw kill is when Dina got kill. And that is in Saw 3D. Now, the reason why I feel like that's my favorite is because it has everything to do with like relationships. And I mean, I'm no relationship expert, and I've been one to say like I'm never going to turn this into a relationship channel or anything like that. And I really do not like relationship gurus or anything like that. But when it comes to trust and being in a relationship with someone, yeah, I gotta say, Dina deserved that shit. Honestly, Dina deserved that shit. I'm not even gonna lie, man. And honestly, I feel like we've all probably been there at one point, you know, whether we were someone who got cheated on or was the cheater. But at the end of the day, it's like, it doesn't feel good when you get cheated on, honestly. And it doesn't feel good when you cheat on someone also. And it's crazy to say, like, yeah, you shouldn't feel good. Well, it doesn't feel good to cheat on someone. But honestly speaking, cheating on someone is so much of an empty behavior. So at the end of the day, I mean, it's like, what are you doing it for? You know? And I know some people will probably disagree with me and say, like, well, Doom, you know, it's not even about being in relationships. It's about how many bodies you could get counted up before you die, because we all only live once. But it's like, is it really that important? I mean, come on now. Like, you know, fucking COVID exists, fucking herpes exists, and all that shit, you know? Is it really worth catching any of those things just to be like, well, that's another notch under my belt, you know? But I mean, I ain't trying to sit here and schmooze the people who believe in monogamous relationships, because at the end of the day, that bitch deserved that shit. And yes, I am gonna say that bitch deserves that shit.
All right, Doom. That was a little too much, but I mean, I guess that could be like getting past the censors and everything. But anyway, another question: favorite classic monster, Doom?
Favorite classic monster? I would have to say Frankenstein's monster. That has always been my favorite classic monster for, like, I don't know, maybe since high school. And maybe because it's like more of the reason of like existentialism. And I mean, this is probably like way before I knew about existential moments and everything. You know, my favorite book, if none of you guys know, is Frankenstein, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I really do enjoy that book, and it has a lot of existential moments that probably a lot of us have had at a certain point in life. And it's my favorite because honestly, it's dealing with a lot of like maybe existential issues that we've all probably had at one point. Dealing with our own mortality of like things that probably haven't went right in our life, or just things that probably went wrong in our life. And maybe sometimes we kind of have to question ourselves like, yo, is this the life we're supposed to be living? And I mean, it's a book that I continuously return to this day. I haven't read it in quite a bit, but I mean, I will probably be reading it soon because Halloween is definitely around the corner. So yeah, definitely gonna try and get that in. But yeah, definitely Frankenstein. Boris Karloff, I do enjoy his Frankenstein monster impression in the movie. I did enjoy The Bride of Frankenstein. And by the way, if you guys don't know me, y'all should know I do have the biggest crush on The Bride of Frankenstein. Just to be a little thirst trappy for a moment, because I feel like I haven't been a thirst trap for a minute. But, you know, fuck it, it's my podcast. I could do whatever the fuck I want, honestly, right? But too much cussing. Anyway, I do love me some Elsa Lanchester. She is, oh my god, as the Bride of Frankenstein. Oh my god. Hot girl summer, definitely. But beyond that, I do enjoy Boris Karloff as Frankenstein's monster. I did enjoy the first film. I saw that film in high school, and my favorite scene is when he dumps that girl in the fucking pool. Well, not the pool, but the fucking lake. I don't know if anybody else seen this movie, but if you have seen this movie, you know exactly what scene I'm talking about. That shit is fucking enjoyable. It's fucking funny to me. And if you guys have not seen the very first Frankenstein movie, I encourage you to watch that shit. It was on Peacock for a minute if you had like the premium service, but it's not on there right now. I hope that they bring it back soon because your boy is due to watch that film again. And definitely, I hope they bring back The Bride of Frankenstein too. Not only for my thirst for The Bride of Frankenstein, even though I know she's like a corpse right now. I'm just saying. I just think The Bride of Frankenstein. I just want the character. Can I get the character in some type of way? Just to be in like some thirst moment. Like, can I get the character for just like right in front of me for one night? I mean, is that too much to ask? But anyway, I'm going too much into like a total tangent. But anyway, classic favorite monster is definitely Frankenstein. I think that's pretty much it for questions. Is that right, Producer Doom?
Yeah, Walter, baby. You know, that's pretty much it for the questions. You know, we're going to have some questions probably next week or so, but we'll see, baby. I mean, it ain't going to be like a thing that's going to go happening normally and like that, you know. But, yeah, just keep it the good work, baby. I mean, we're doing good, baby, you know. Anyway, I'm going to just leave the floor back to you, baby. You know, just keep doing your thing. But, yeah.
Okay, Producer Doom. Hope that drink is good. But anyway, we are going to go ahead and sign out for today, you guys. So once again, those social medias to follow me are Walterdoom on Instagram, Walterdoom1 on Twitter, Walterdoom on everything else that is streaming my podcast. And let's give it up for Dr. Ghoul also. Make sure you follow him on Instagram. That's Dr. Ghoul 1710 on Instagram. So yeah, make sure to follow him. Make sure you guys give him all the love on Instagram. Also give me some love on Instagram. You know, give me love on everything else. I'm just saying. But anyway, before I sign out, I just want to once again say, you guys, Team Doom are out there rocking it. I want to give respects to you guys for a minute. You know, I want to give respect to everybody that listens to the podcast, that takes the time to listen to it. You guys know you don't have to listen to it, but you guys are listening to it, and I respect that, and I do appreciate that. And I definitely hope that you guys continue to support my journey on as I continue this podcast journey and try and give you guys the best content as much as possible, you know, because I do love talking about this horror shit. You know, this has been like a passion of mine since I was a kid. Since I was a kid, I always wrote horror, whether people believe it or not, you know, whether they want to claim it as something else, but I have always wrote horror as a kid, you know, and always loved doing it. I didn't really realize my love for horror until I became an adult, you know, honestly. Till that one day I was just like, yo, I want to collect every horror movie in the world and just have it in my room or just have it in my house, just big chilling right there. And you know, one day, you know, if I have guests over and they want to watch a horror movie, they be like, yo, I just want to watch a real chill B horror. You know, I'm be like, yo, I got you, fam. Boom. We got scanners. But other than that, you know, I hope you guys keep rocking with me. Keep doing your thing, Team Doom. And once again, I am going to see you guys for another episode of Let's Talk About Horror. This is America. Don't let them catch you slipping now. Stay diabolical, people. Peace. Oh yeah, fuck Dina. And don't spoil Spiral for me, people. Peace.